for Dr. Maureen Reid. And I'm pleased to deliver this citation for Dr. Maureen Reid, the 2015 winner of the Ryerson President's Award for Teaching Excellence. This award recognizes sustained and innovative leadership in teaching and learning at Ryerson. Dr. Reid is an associate professor in the Department of Psychology and a former director of the Ryerson Teaching and Learning Office. She holds both a master's and a PhD from York University. She taught at Trent and Wilfrid Laurier and joined Ryerson in 2001. Dr. Reid's contributions have advanced Ryerson at a time of academic growth and development. And she stands out because you might say she is the teacher's teacher. Under her direction, the Ryerson Learning and Teaching Office moved the university forward in technology and teaching practices, helping our faculty become leaders in the new environment. Her research covers a breadth of topics, from visual perception and human development, and how to help people assess what they can do and teach themselves the adaptive strategies they need. She is well known and respected for her innovation and learning methods for higher education and her focus on access for non-traditional students and students with disabilities. In the classroom, Maureen's teaching is also about helping students help themselves. The toughest undergraduate courses she teaches in statistics and research methods are the ones that many students face with apprehension. But they're also among the ones she enjoys teaching most because she helps the students realize their own potential and how to teach themselves to learn. Her teaching extends to her activities as a business consultant, a mentor, a presenter at conferences on various areas of her work, and the author of published papers on her research in psychology and pedagogy of teaching and learning. For students, faculty, and colleagues, she has been a great inspiration for progress in teaching and learning and continues to make Ryerson just a fantastic place to do both. So, ladies and gentlemen, it now gives me a great privilege to invite Dr. Reid to the podium to deliver today's Convocation address. Thank you.
Welcome, everybody. Graduation Day has always been one of my favorites. It's the one day a year I feel like everything is as it should be. Everyone's happy, family and friends are supporting one another. Students are appropriately proud. More than this, though, it's my favorite day because in our students I see a world of possibilities. The room's filled with yet-to-be hopes and dreams, and it signals to me that this world is going to be a better place because our students are in it. Today we celebrate your success, students. Yet, you might be surprised to know that me and my professor friends up here thought that you were successful long before you earned this degree. You see, the success was in the path you took to get the degree. It's a path that I think is well worth talking about, and it's also a path that I think you should remember when times are tough. I am lucky enough to study success as one of my research areas in psychology. In particular, I examine the ingredients for success in higher education, how students overcome challenges, what causes students to persevere in the face of challenges, and even in the face of failure. Yet, for all of my research, my beliefs about success were taught to me long ago when I was not much older than most of the students sitting here today. Many years ago, after I finished my undergraduate degree, I decided I wanted to see what the world had to offer. I took a number of years away from school to discover that world. On my travels, I was lucky because I received a job in another country, and it was a great job. Living in a land that was unfamiliar to me, I learned had many challenges itself. But the story I want to tell you about is about someone I met during this time that changed the way I viewed life. During my time in that country, someone asked me if I would accompany her to visit a woman who had a baby. It sounded like fun, so I said okay. And I agreed, and off we went, and we went up alleys and streets and all over the community, it seemed to me, until we finally ended up at the very edge of the community. At the edge of the community was a field, and I noticed that in the field there were these refrigerator boxes that seemed to have been strung together by some means, I'm not sure what, but there were walls of a structure now, and on the top of that structure was some discarded cloth. We walked towards this box, and a woman came out carrying a newborn. She welcomed my friend, and I saw that in the box there were 3 other young children. I felt a little uncomfortable, to be very honest, and when she was introduced to me, for lack of a better thing to say, I just stared at her and I said, "You live in a box." She looked at me like I was a bit odd, and she said, "Well, I have to live somewhere, don't I? And I have 4 children, and besides that, my husband's run off." After I returned to my apartment, I could not stop thinking about this woman in the box. And the next day I went to see my boss. And I told him about this woman in the box, and I asked him if he would help her. Now he responded, "Well, Maureen, there are many homeless people here, and I can't help them all." To which I said, "I'm not asking you to help them all, I'm asking you to help this one." Well, I left then, but I felt very confident that my boss would do the right thing, because despite the fact that he had sort of said no, I knew he had this very kind soul. And a few days later, there was a knock at my door, and it was the woman from the box, and she said to me a miracle had happened. Out of the blue, she had been hired to be a cleaner at the same place that I worked, and on top of it, the best part of this job was it came with an apartment. Over the ensuing months in this country, I became fast friends with the woman from the box. I marveled at the fact that she never expressed any bitterness at her situation, and she treated life like a gift to be appreciated. And she was so much fun. She taught me more about life and coping in those ensuing months than I had learned before or since. To me, she was success. Michael Rosenbaum, a psychologist, examines what makes people successful. He calls his theory of success the theory of learned resourcefulness, and this theory has considerable evidence. I like Rosenbaum's theory because he suggests that the act of coping itself is success. He suggests that there are 4 strategies that successful people use that unsuccessful people do not. The first strategy is that successful people are good at problem solving. That is, when stressful events occur, they try to solve the problem themselves. Their attempts are not always successful, but the act of trying to solve a problem has value in success making. Second is that successful people make positive self-statements. When times are tough, they tell themselves they can cope. They say that they can meet the challenge and that they are good enough. Third, successful people can delay gratification for more meaningful goals. That is, they like to play the long game. They forgo small rewards in order to achieve a larger goal. Finally, successful people understand that change and success takes effort. That is, we are largely in control of our own future, and the effort you put in matters. That's not to say that all your efforts will immediately pay off, but one will learn something from their own efforts in dealing with life's challenges, and that effort will help you set a path. In the end, then, understanding what success is important. From a traditional point of view, we often mix up outcome with success. We often believe that those who are the leaders and who make the most money are the most successful. But I don't think so. From a psychological viewpoint, it is the walk to success that matters, not so much the outcome. From that point of view, trying and failing is okay. We all fail sometimes, but we are still successful if we learn from our failures. Rosenbaum says the outcome is the goal reached, but success is in the coping. I would like to add to this that success involves following a path that is filled with meaning. Indeed, meaning comes from many sources, but one of the best sources is compassion towards others. Seppala, in 2013, writing for the Association for Psychological Science, suggests that we show compassion to others. When we show compassion to others, we are happier, we have less stress, we feel connected to our communities, and we have a broader perspective of life. All ingredients for success, I think. And so my friend from the box, despite the fact that she only had a grade 2 education, educated me about what success was. She showed me that success was about laughing often, crying when you need to, doing right by others even when it's hard, respecting yourself, persevering when failures happen, and acknowledging that even in one's darkest moments, brighter days will follow. By these standards, I can most assuredly say that each of you sitting here today is already successful. I want you to know, along with my professor friends, we are incredibly proud of you. You attained your goal, but more importantly, the walk towards your goal was a series of challenges and successes. And your professors know you did it by coping, finding meaning, and showing compassion to others. Live well, and know you will be missed by those you leave behind at Ryerson. Congratulations to you all, and to quote my dear friend and colleague, Dean Jean-Paul Boudreau, good for you and good for Ryerson.